Okay, so continuing on with P2-23, the whole wizard has some good advantages over just drawing these as circles. So one of the things that we can do with our what if scenario is I can look at the cut, and because I separated these out, I can go ahead and suppress. The other item of interest that you might want to do is the rollback. So if you ever accidentally on purpose grab the blue bar, you'll see the little fingers gripping the bar. The rollback bar treats it as if the fillet and the history tree is whatever we create, whatever we put in is going to go in between cut extrude 2 and fillet 1, and then when we roll forward, it will complete the fillet 1. And if there's any geometry that gets removed or changed, it'll bark at you, but it's not really that big of a deal. So let's take a look at our drawing again. So instead of just drawing all of the circles, we really are going to break these down into the 1/4 inch and then go back for each of the hole sizes. And each of those is going to become a separate feature based on its hole size. Right, so we're in inches. We're going to do the rounding pretty close. And with the hole wizard, I'm going to recommend that you pre-select. So picking that face first and then going into the hole wizard, it's not going to ask you those silly questions after. So we want a 1/4 inch through hole. And we are in metric, so we need to scroll up to inch. I would like to see the fractional drill sizes just to kind of clear that out. And if we show the decimal values, then that will help with determining our rounding. So we're going to look for 1/4 inch, scroll down. Again, for just regular edge breaks, I'm not going to do the near side, far side countersink. I'll just put a edge break node on the drawing. And this is going to put us into points. And it automatically goes to points and says start sketching. And make sure I don't miss one again. So A3, A4, and A5. So this is also going to simplify it a little bit with the ordinate or the dimensions. So if we want to stay with the ordinates, then it would go back to more dimensions, find the horizontal, place the 0, the x ordinate, and then we'll go through and we'll pick up those items. Right, and then I can go more dimensions, pick up the vertical ordinate, set the 0, go place those dimensions, and we'll just get back to select, hold down select the first point, hold down the control button, select the second point, we'll make that horizontal, and then if I just go to the next point that isn't selected, click on it to select it, hold down the control button and select it, I can get into kind of a rhythm and flow of setting those relations. All right, so for our dimensions, we have the 0.25, 0.25. For the A3, we have the height of 0.264. And for A2, the height is 3.1. And then for F, or A4, F jumped out there, 3.65. And let's see, are we missing any there? Okay, everything's fully defined. We go ahead and accept, and we have our first group. Reselect, hole wizard. We're going to look for the B's are 400. So if we're familiar with the series, we do have an X drill that is 397, but that assumes that you have looked at a drill index with the number, the fractional, and the letter drills. And so I jumped over to the fractional drill sizes, but if we just said, I five or 10 thousandths, 6 thousandths over is a little bit much. I would rather be closer than that. Then I can do all drill sizes, and we'll go find something that is a little bit closer. So in the X drill, we're 397, which is 3 thousandths under, and Y drill 4 thousandths over. The other consideration would be since this is 2 decimal places, most of the time that's going to be plus or minus 10 thousandths on the tolerance of the size. Sometimes 15 thousandths, but closer that we can stay to the actual number, the better. All right, so we have our B1 and B2. On these, I think I'll just go ahead with, oh, I hit the right mouse button, which ends it. So just like the rest of our features, we're going to click on it and edit the feature. We'll go back into the positions. And so if we want to just do the regular, I don't know that the ordinate's going to have any real advantage for just a couple of dimensions. So 0.68 and 1.29. And then B2 was 1.28 and 0.56. So we have those two. We can go ahead and accept. And then back into the whole wizard. And even though these are singles and we could draw them as the circles easy enough, I think that the example of being able to change these is still going to make it worthwhile to go through this process. So 0.29, we have an L drill that is 0.29, so we'll go with it. Put the C in place, go into the dimensions. And that time I did not see the little mouse icon with the checkbox when I hit the right mouse button to get into select for the dimensions, so it didn't kick me out. And 2.92, 1.76, and 2.92. And we'll accept that one. For the D then. All right, so I didn't pre-select this time. We're looking for our D value as the 0.33. So we're going to find something pretty close, 2 thousandths over, 2 thousandths under. Probably would go just slightly undersize, just working on the material that we can always take a little bit more. It's hard to add it back in. All right, so I'm going to ignore the whole positions. We don't have to select any of those. I can just go ahead and pick on the face. It puts me into the point, and then I can select my geometry. This time I'll go up to the command manager, and we'll pick the D location 2.66 and 3.16. And we'll go ahead and accept that. I do want to do the slot features, so we may do one more thing with the and I didn't grab that again. So we may do one more thing with the suppression and managing construction geometry or contour and region. So, and in one sense, there's too many choices, but you need to be aware of which ones are your go-tos. All right, so we got the C, we got the D. E is 0.42. So the 2764 looks pretty good. Place it. And there is the mouse button with the checkbox. So if I move away from the solid area, then it looks like uh, it will remove the check mark that would accept the sketch. All right, so E is 3.38, and the vertical 1.13, and we'll go ahead and accept it. All right, pre-selecting, let's go to G. And G is 0.73, so probably the 734. And we need to go to its position and notice the green check mark, and when I move away, then I can get back to the select or the smart dimension. So its location is 0.71. And 4.39. Okay, so that should be all of the holes. Do a count again, make sure I didn't miss anything. And let's edit the sketch. So expanding out, we have a couple choices. If I go to the feature, the second on the top row will be edit sketch. If I expand out and go left click on the sketch, then the first item would be edit sketch. Either one of those will put us into the sketch. And since we did the slot there, I could change this over to construction geometry if I didn't want it to exist anywhere. If I wanted to use it somewhere else, then option 2 is to edit the feature, go into the contours, and say I just want that one contour. And that does the hide or suppresses. Well, it doesn't build the slot into that group. So the reason I did that then is to show the whole wizard slot geometry. And the slot is 0.38, so we could say 0.75. Make sure I'm just on the straight slot. And we'll go to 3/4. And the slot length is 1.13. And it gives us the options to go center to center or overall length. So right now we're at center to center. And then that looks like everything it needs to go to the positions. We can place it, and then we'll go into the select, and we can rotate that up, make sure that it gets vertical. We'll get the dimension out of the way a little bit. And then we're doing the same 4.48 and missed. So we'll cancel out of that and try again. 4.48. And then to the center is the 1.66. And got a 90-degree in there, so let's hit escape. And make sure that we're getting to the endpoint, 1.66, because the yellow is telling me that it hasn't generated that slot. There's no objects there. It is where it's going to be, but right now for the whole wizard, we have the endpoints of the center line and the midpoint to work with. So we go ahead and accept that. And then we'll roll forward to the fillets, make sure everything is good there, and then we can save it. All right, so where this comes in, if I wanted to check, is I can go back and highlight and see where I missed the other one. All right, so A4's on the top group is still giving me some fits, and it looks like I missed one more. All right, so if we did not roll back, let's go into the whole wizard one more time. Figure out F1 was a 0.32. All right, so 323, 316, yeah, probably the 323. We'll go into the position, place it, get away from the solid so that I can right click and get into the dimension. F1 then is 3.43 and 3.71. All right, so in this case, if I wanted to maintain the order, I would just left click and drag and pull it before the fillet. All right, so we highlight again. That leaves, what did I do with the first? And, and A4 is 4.88, so missed it by that much. So that was kind of the problem of it being too close. And we just want to make sure to rebuild it, save it one more time. And then if I'm looking, even though it's suppressed, I can edit it. All right, well, there's another one. So multiple iterations, we make enough passes on it, eventually we get them all, but we would want to double check these anyway. There's a lot of information there, and you've seen how easy it is to miss or overlook something. So whole wizard is going to be functional then, because we'll take one of these. Let's go with the B, and I will edit the feature. And since 397 is pretty close to the 10 millimeter mark, maybe we would have a clearance hole for 397 for like uh, a socket head cap screw, and we would go with a 3/8. Okay, and then the positions stay the same, but just like that, I can switch those over to a counterbore. The .29 might be a little larger loose fit for a countersink, but if we were to switch that over, and it defaults to the 100 degree, but we, for an inch screw, want a 82 degree, and we'll go pick up the 1/4 inch. And if we wanted to check the sizing, we are 266. And if I go up to a loose fit, it goes up to 281, so pretty close. We could adjust that if needed, but it really depends on what we're telling it to do. All right, and then the other ones, let's see, probably the 1/4 inch would be the best one to do the thread. So if I switch over to a threaded hole, it goes to the 1/4 20, and then we can accept. And looking at it straight on, it's not showing me my cosmetic threads, so let's go. And because I just changed that, I do want to check. So right now, the options show the tap drill diameter. If I want to see the cosmetic threads, or I'm expecting to see the cosmetic threads in that there, then I'm going to edit, and I'm going to go back and we'll see if the tooltip catches up to the cosmetic thread. The one that I haven't ever really seen is to remove the thread and have it go to oversize. So I'm not sure exactly what the point of that one is, but it's always been there. On this then, now we can see the cosmetic thread, and we go into that geometry. So one more save, and then we'll compare these and generate a drawing as an optional.